Hey teachers, here is a free 15-minute lesson that you can do with your intermediate students, with your homeroom, with your advisory class about self-directed learning. So I love this idea about self-directed learning, but let's be honest. If you just give a class of students, hey, here's an independent project, go, that's going to be a painful experience for you and the students. Things will go wrong when they get stuck. They're all going to raise their hand looking for help from you. You're one person surrounded by 35, 25, a million students, and there's going to be a lineup. So then they're going to feel frustrated that they can't get help when they need it. You're going to feel frustrated because you have a whole line queue of people who are asking for help, and it just becomes a frustrating experience. Can you tell that I've had this experience? Okay, so one of the key things about self-directed learning is this idea about training our students to be able to handle or know what to do when they hit obstacles. So let's chat about this. Transferable skills, fantastic emphasis with the new Ontario 2023 language curriculum. I love it. And this idea about self-directed learning, about character education, it extends from both academic skills to outside in the real world. How do I know this? Okay, well, because learning, not everyone loves learning, right? Like we used to call this character education, but really this is about social emotional learning. And KSO 5, what do we mean by that? It's this idea about being self-aware and having the self-control or self-management skills to be able to persevere and overcome and keep on learning when the going gets tough. And this could be learning academically. This could be learning how to do your taxes. This could be learning how to do stuff that you don't want to do. This could be learning how your relationship works, trying to figure things out. So this goes beyond the classroom. All right, so I'm going to ask you, the teacher watching this, think about the last time you had to learn something that you didn't want to do. And this lesson, this slideshow, you can literally use with your students. In the classroom, it's going to be homework, right? Like students don't want to do homework. Sometimes they love homework, but even if they love homework, sometimes they don't love homework all the time. And let's be honest, although we tell our students and although our parents will tell our students, yeah, homework is really important, school is important, marks are important. And that's true. But if that was the only measure of success, then that means the most successful people in life, whether you measure success by relationships or happiness or wealth or career success, however you define success, if school and marks were the indicator, the key indicator of success, that means that the most successful people would have the best marks at school. And we know that's not always the case, that if you have great marks at school, it doesn't always translate into success in life. So there has to be more than just success at school. And that means being able to learn and this independent ability to learn how to learn so that when life gets tough, we can pivot and overcome those obstacles. So anyways, back to students, homework. Yeah, they don't always want to do homework. It doesn't get done. And we all know that when we do homework checks. But if we think about teachers, what about virtual teaching during the COVID pandemic? Some of us love that. That was our jam. We love technology. This was a brand new world for us, and it was fantastic. And others of us, yeah, technology is not our friend. This wasn't the job we signed up for, and then we had to do it. And we had to learn and figure out how to do it, even though we didn't want to do it. So self-directed learning is really about perseverance and figuring out how we learn and how we can sort of, okay, well, this is how we learn best. Let's figure it out. Let's overcome this. And so if we learn these skills at school, i.e., if we can figure out how to do homework, even though we hate homework or, it's not our favorite, those skills transfer to other places. Okay. So everything I'm chatting about today, the classroom activity, 2 obstacles and 8 strategies, they're available for free. You just go to educircles.org/episode 3. It'll look like this. And here is the slideshow lesson, by the way. So all you have to do to teach this in your classroom is just enter full screen and you can jump ahead as you want through the slideshow that I'm teaching right now. Click on this link at the top. It's going to take you to my TPT store. This is a free download. So once you add it to your TPT account, click on download. Give it a second. It'll save to your computer. There we go. So save it somewhere. And then if I open this up, here's the PDF with all the slides that I'm going to show you. And you can print this off Obviously, this is a free resource. I am a teacherpreneur, so there's an upsell version. If you want the full version that has the black and white versions with like 4 strategies per page, so it's an easy handout, or black and white low ink printout versions, for sure you can check out the complete resource here. And then there's also a full character lesson that ties into growth mindset and surveys and actually trying to use these strategies while doing a differentiated task. Anyways, let's go back to this free stuff here. I'm going back to the slideshow. So you've downloaded and printed off the PDFs. And I'm going to jump back to the slideshow here. So actually, let's do it from here. So enter full screen. Okay, so think about the last time you had to do something that you didn't want to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite you watching this right now. So in the classroom, this is what you're going to do with them. I'm going to write down a problem, something that you know you have to do, but you didn't do it. And why not? So for me, I have to figure out how to connect my resources on TPT to the new Ontario curriculum because they tie in beautifully, but I just haven't done it yet. Okay, so self-awareness. How big of an issue is this for you? So here's a common obstacle that we hear in the classroom, right? Did you do your homework? No. Why not? I got distracted, or I forgot about it. Okay, how often, so look at the problem you wrote on your paper. How big of an issue is this for you? I got distracted. Well, yeah, last week I didn't update all my resources because it wasn't important enough, right? Like I had other things to do. So I got distracted. Yeah, I got distracted by more important things to do. Okay, so I would say this is like an 8 out of 10 for me. Okay, so write down on a piece of paper, whatever your obstacle is or whatever you're trying to do, write down what score you would give that obstacle. I got distracted. Some of us, maybe that's not the problem. Maybe the problem was you didn't get distracted, but you didn't have the resources you needed for that, right? That's a different obstacle. Okay, but let's just think about I got distracted. So I'm going to go through 4 different strategies. You can do this with your students. And basically, as we go through each strategy, figure out, would this strategy work for you personally, right? So if you're neutral, give it a score of 5. If it's like, no, this is not my jam, then give it a 1 out of 10. And this is absolutely, I know I need to do this. This has worked for me in the past. This would be a 10. So here's the strategy. Set a consistent time to do it. Because if you don't schedule it, it's not going to happen, right? You're going to forget, or something more pressing is going to come up. It's not in your calendar. So if you do it the same time every day, then maybe this will work for you. Would this work for me in working on my TPT resources? Yeah, like the problem was I didn't even think about it. Like we talked about it in class for homework where I thought I had to do it. And then I never actually did this. So yeah, this would help me be less distracted. So time, I would give this maybe a 7 out of 10 for me. And then you write down your score on your page. If you gave out the handouts to your students, they could write a score out of 10 on the page directly. In fact, you could give them a minute, right? Like write down some reasons why you think this would or would not help you. And for me, I know this works in the past if I schedule it and set a calendar, like an alarm. Okay, what about this? Make it a habit, right? So we are what we do repeatedly. If you eat junk food a lot, you're going to get a junky kind of body. If you take care of your body and you exercise a lot, you'll probably get a fit body over time, right? These are habits, and eventually these habits become who we are in the future. So if I made this a habit, I know I want to work on my TPT resources. And then if I just did it over and over again until it became a habit to do it, then maybe I would find success. Would this work for me? Now, some of you are thinking this is exactly the same as the other one. Kind of, right? I found in the classroom sometimes if you phrase it sometimes a little bit differently, it clicks for someone in a way that it didn't click for someone else. So maybe scheduling it at the same time doesn't work, but maybe this idea about doing a habit, like I always brush my teeth before going to bed. That's a habit. Okay, so would this work for me if I always I don't know, would this work for me to get my products up like maybe a 4? I don't think so. Like I want to make it a habit, but I just have too much going on in my life. Okay, so let's try the next strategy. The next strategy here is write it down. So the obstacle is I got distracted. Is the solution to write it down, because sometimes writing it down in your agenda, maybe that's the way to do it. Because if you write it down, a lot of us think, no, I'll remember, and then we forget. Right? So maybe we need to write it down in an agenda. And maybe your school uses paper agendas, and maybe your students use it because they want to, and maybe they use it because you force them to because we do homework checks. Maybe using their phone would be the way to write it down, or maybe that would be a distraction, right? Because the phone is the gateway to all things internet. So, but this idea about writing it down, would this work for you? And for me, writing it down, I'm going to say is a 9, only because I know right now I'm trying this thing where I wake up in the morning and I just write down 3 things that I have to get done that day. And so maybe writing it down, this idea about updating my resources, maybe that would help me. Okay, let's go on here. Another obstacle here, avoid friends. So in the classroom, we know, a lot of students, they like to sit with their friends and then they get distracted because maybe it's more important to chat with your friends socially than it is to do work, or maybe they're friends, they're friends. So you get distracted or you're laughing because the work itself, the schoolwork is hard and boring. Your friends are funny. Yeah. So for the students, friends are great, except when they slow you down and distract you from getting things done. Okay, so that's an obvious idea. We're used to that as teachers. What about that for us as teachers? And I would share this. So I work with a lot of business clients and teachers and solopreneurs. And one of the ideas that's come up is like I have some high performing, really qualified solopreneurs, entrepreneurs. And what that holds them back are their friends, in the sense of, I don't want to do this because then my friends might say this, or they might make fun of me. Or if I go to the staff room, sometimes the staff room is an incredibly encouraging place. And sometimes the staff room is a cesspool of just grumpiness. And that just is a distraction. So avoiding friends for teachers, it might be avoiding the distractions of grumpiness, or avoiding the distractions of like my friends are going to make fun of me, or what will they say if I do this, or I can't do this because they might do this. Sure, those are issues for students, but they're issues for us as adults, which is crazy, right? Transferable skills. But avoiding friends, how much of is that an issue for me? I guess that's maybe a 7 for me, that self-doubt piece, right? So this is about you. And it's that self-awareness piece and that self-management piece, which is recognizing that not everything we do works for everyone all of the time. And that's important here, right? Because this might work great for you. It might not. And some of your students might look at this and say, okay, well, that strategy doesn't work for me. But actually what might work is this. So sometimes it's nice to compare things, right? Compare and contrast, which one is a bigger issue. So initially we looked at the idea about like, I got distracted. What about this idea? Like, I tried, but it didn't work, so I gave up. How often have we heard that in the classroom where students are like, I tried one thing, it didn't work, and then they're sitting there frustrated. They raise their hand immediately for help. So sometimes we build into those things like ask 3 before me. But what if we put these posters at the back of our room where students, if they got stuck, they could go back there, find a strategy, try that, see if it works. And for some students who struggle or feel frustration a little bit earlier, maybe they only have to try one of these strategies at the back of their room before coming to get help. Whereas others of us who are maybe a little bit more independent, maybe they have to try 3 different things before they get unstuck or they get adult help, right? So some classics in here, chunk it out. Some tasks are huge, but if we get overwhelmed looking at the big picture, maybe if we just piece it together into smaller pieces, maybe that's a little bit more manageable. Or this idea about, well, I tried it, I keep on trying it, studying the same way. I tried studying, I didn't get a better mark, it didn't work. Maybe the way that you're studying isn't the way that's most effective for you, right? So maybe we need to try a new way of studying. Or maybe this is the classic growth mindset trick, right? Like, I can't do this. Add the word yet. I can't do this yet. Or I'm not good at math yet. I'm not good at updating my TPT product yet. Or just restart. We tried, we get so caught up in this way, it's not working. If my computer doesn't work, I can restart it. I can reboot it and have a fresh start. And that applies to us, right? Like, we tried it, it didn't work, let's restart. Or let's get a fresh handout, right? We tried this is, rather than erasing everything, okay, let's just start over. Let's just get a new handout. Let's try that. So if something in here resonates with you, or you want the handouts, no problem. educircles.org/episode 3. Download the PDFs, try the slideshow. And if you are interested in finding out more about my Ontario resources, just click on educircles.org Ontario, and you can download these free posters that I have for the curriculum. I will see you next time. Join the EduCircles clubs for free stuff and free updates and free resources like this. Have a great week. See you next week. Bye-bye now.